Why did the big JC get the axe from the MCU? The Christian Son of God very nearly made his superhero debut in 2022. In Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor and his pals travel to Omnipotent City, the gathering place for gods and goddesses of all pantheons. Just about the only major deity missing? Jesus Christ. But he was almost in the movie. In the context of the scene, having Thor meet Jesus would actually make some sense. Thor and the gang have traveled to ask Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, for help in their fight against Gore the God Butcher. The stands are full of figures of worship from all across the universe when they enter the arena. We've got Zeus and his fellow Greek gods, who mostly seem intent on lounging. We've got the god of Korg's people, the Cronin, who's made of rock sitting on a throne of scissors, because rock beats scissors, of course. We also see the Egyptian and Wakandan cat goddess Bast, and Quetzalcoatl from the Aztecs. And that's just the start. They're the gods of emotions that our heroes disguise themselves as. There's a creature called Fur God who is sort of a head on fuzzy feet. We even have Bao, the god of dumplings, and some celestials standing outside peeking through a window. So having Jesus in the scene would have made sense. But would Marvel actually have been crazy enough to have Thor meet Jesus? Well, according to Thor: Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi, the answer was almost yes. In an interview with BBC Radio 1 film critic Ali Plum, Waititi was asked if there were any gods who didn't quite make the cut. The director revealed that, in fact, they originally intended to have Jesus Christ make a cameo. In the film, Thor's pal Valkyrie even makes a reference to Jesus when she says,
"There's the god of magic, god of dreams, god of carpentry."
Jesus, of course, is described in the New Testament as being a carpenter, so this line was clearly a reference to the Christian Son of God. And according to Waititi, they originally planned to show Jesus in the film after that line of dialogue.
Could be
There
allusion
was
to...
supposed to be a cutaway to you-know-who. Oh, Big J.
Waititi doesn't say why the cameo was nixed, but it's not hard to guess. Just ponder the social media meltdown if Jesus had been in the MCU. Twitter would have lost its collective mind. There would have been endless debates, yelling in all caps, boycotts, think pieces, and memes galore. Add in the fact that the deities in the movie are apparently preparing for an orgy, and madness would have likely ensued. Of course, it wouldn't have been the first time Jesus Christ appeared in a movie, far from it. The Son of God in the Christian religion has led his fair share of biblical epics over the years, and proved himself to be an absolute box office sensation with 2004's The Passion of the Christ. However, even earnest biblical epics like The Last Temptation of Christ have been subject to significant protests, and the irreverent tone of Thor: Love and Thunder is very different from the usual religious sincerity of films involving Jesus. It shares more in spirit with a film like Monty Python's Life of Brian, which generated massive outrage in 1979 when a satirical look at the events of the New Testament hit the big screen.
Oh, it's the meek! Blessed are the meek! Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I'm glad they're getting something because they have a hell of a time.
And that was long before today's 24-hour news cycle. It's likely someone at Marvel, or its parent company Disney, decided the quick gag wasn't worth the controversy. If you want to see what might happen if Jesus was thrown into a movie or TV show alongside a bunch of other gods from various pantheons though, it exists in the form of the Starz series American Gods. That show actually featured several versions of Jesus Christ, brought into existence by mankind having several completely different idealized versions of the Christian deity. One is the profoundly white Jesus, worshipped by Middle America. Another is a Mexican Jesus, who was shot helping migrants cross the border. American Gods was never a big enough hit to cause outrage, but it's safe to say that Marvel's Jesus would have gotten a lot more tongues wagging.